There's a question nobody asks at a funeral. Everyone's crying. Everyone's grieving. The preacher reads the 23rd Psalm, and nobody raises their hand and says, "Wait, if God is my shepherd, why did I just lose someone I love? If God is my shepherd, why is my life falling apart? If God is my shepherd, why am I so lonely?" We don't ask that question out loud, but we think it. We feel it. Here's the truth. Psalm 23 isn't a promise that bad things won't happen. It's a promise that when bad things happen, you have someone walking with you. Today, we're going to unpack this psalm not as a funeral poem, but as a survival guide for living. Because if you really understand what it means to have a shepherd, it will change how you face everything. Let's be honest. Most of us know Psalm 23 by heart. We can recite it with our eyes closed, and that's actually a problem. When something becomes familiar, it stops being powerful. You stop listening to the words. You just say them. So today, I want us to pretend we've never read this before. I want us to imagine we're hearing it for the very first time. David wrote this psalm, and David wasn't sitting in a palace when he wrote it. He wasn't comfortable. He wasn't retired. David was a man who had been hunted by kings, betrayed by friends, buried by grief, haunted by his own failures, and from that place of chaos, David writes, "The Lord is my shepherd." Not "the Lord should be my shepherd," not "I hope the Lord is my shepherd," but "the Lord is my shepherd," present tense, right now, in the middle of the mess. Let's look at verse 1. "The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want." The first word is loaded. David was very specific to address who the Lord is. David doesn't say the Lord is a shepherd. He doesn't say the Lord is the shepherd. He says the Lord is my shepherd. That's personal. That's possessive. That's intimate. Sheep in the Middle East didn't just belong to a random shepherd. They knew their shepherd's voice. They trusted their shepherd's presence. They followed their shepherd's lead. David is saying, I belong to him. He belongs to me. I am not astray. I am not forgotten. I am his. And because the Lord is my shepherd, David says, I shall not want. That doesn't mean you'll never desire anything. It means you won't lack anything essential. The shepherd knows what his sheep need. He knows when they need rest. He knows when they need water. He knows when they need protection. And he provides, not always what you want, but always what you need. Verse 2 says, He makes me to lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside the still waters. Now here's something fascinating. Sheep will not lie down unless 4 conditions are met. First, they must be free from fear. If a sheep is afraid, it won't rest. It will stand, alert, ready to run. Second, they must be free from conflict. Sheep are herd animals. If there's fighting in the flock, nobody rests. Third, they must be free from pests. Flies, ticks, parasites. If sheep are being tormented, they won't lie down. Fourth, they must be full. If they're hungry, they'll keep moving, looking for food. So when David says, He makes me lie down, he's saying God provides. Freedom from fear, peace in relationships, relief from torment, fullness of soul, and notice where he leads. Still waters, not rapids, not floods. Still waters. Sheep won't drink from rushing water. The noise scares them. The current threatens them. They need calm. God knows that about you. He doesn't lead you into chaos. He leads you to peace. If your life is nothing but noise right now, maybe you've wandered from the shepherd, because he always leads to stillness. Verse 3, He restores my soul. He leads me in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake. There's a condition in sheep called being cast. It happens when a sheep lies down, rolls onto its back, and can't get up. Its legs flail in the air. It's completely helpless. If the shepherd doesn't come, the sheep will die within hours. Predators will attack. The sheep will bloat. It's a slow, terrifying death. Have you ever been cast? Have you ever found yourself flat on your back, legs flailing, unable to get up? Maybe it was depression. Maybe it was grief. Maybe it was failure. Maybe it was betrayal. That's when the shepherd comes. He restores you. He turns you over. He sets you on your feet. And then what? He leads me in paths of righteousness. Not for my reputation, for his name's sake. The shepherd's reputation is tied to his sheep. If the shepherd loses sheep, what kind of shepherd is he? God leads you rightly because his name is at stake. He doesn't guide you because you're perfect. He guides you because he's faithful. Now we come to the verse that has carried millions through darkness. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. I want you to notice two words, walk and through. David doesn't say, I run through the valley. He says, I walk, steady, calm, deliberate. And he doesn't say, I stay in the valley. He says, I walk through. The valley is a passage, not a destination. You enter it, you exit it. You don't live there. What gets David through? Not his own courage, not positive thinking. Two things, the rod and the staff. The rod was a short club. The shepherd used it to fight off predators, count the sheep. He would rod them as they passed. Discipline wandering sheep. The staff was a long hook. The shepherd used it to guide sheep, pull them out of holes, draw them close for inspection. The rod represents God's protection. The staff represents God's guidance. Together they comfort David. Why? Because he knows, when danger comes, the shepherd fights. When I wander, the shepherd pulls me back. When I fall, the shepherd lifts me out. You don't need to see the enemy if you trust the shepherd's rod. You don't need to know the way if you trust the shepherd's staff. Then the psalm shifts completely. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of mine enemies. Thou anointest my head with oil, my cup runneth over. David stops talking about sheep. Now he's talking about banquets, about honor, about hospitality. In the ancient Near East, if you invited someone to your table, you were promising them protection. While they ate at your table, no enemy could touch them. It was sacred. God says, I set a feast for you right where your enemies can see it. They watch as I honor you. They watch as I fill your cup. And there's nothing they can do about it. The oil on the head, that was refreshment. In that culture, hosts would pour fragrant oil on guests. It cooled the forehead. It smelled beautiful. It was a sign of welcome and blessing. And the cup running over, that's abundance. That's more than enough. That's God saying, I don't just give you enough to survive. I give you enough to celebrate. You may be in enemy territory. You may be surrounded by threats. But at God's table, you are safe. You are honored. You are full. Finally, verse 6. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. The word follow here is actually weak in English. The Hebrew word means to pursue, to chase, to hunt. David is saying, goodness and mercy are chasing me every single day. They're hunting me down. I can't outrun them. I can't escape them. Not judgment, not karma, not punishment. Goodness and mercy. And notice when? All the days of my life. Not just the good days, not just the easy days, all of them, even the valley days. Yes, even the days when enemies surround me. Yes, even the days when I've failed. Yes. And where does it end? I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Not visit, not pass through. Dwell permanently, eternally, at home with the shepherd. Here are 4 simple truths to apply from Psalm 23. Truth 1, you have a shepherd. You are not alone, you are not leaderless. You belong to someone who knows you. Truth 2, you can rest. If the shepherd is watching, you can lie down. Release the need to control everything. Truth 3, valleys are temporary. You will walk through. Not stay in, not die in, through. Truth 4, goodness is chasing you. Open your eyes. God's goodness is closer than you think. It's hunting you down. Let it catch you. You may not know what's ahead, but you know who's ahead of you. The shepherd goes before you. The shepherd walks beside you. The shepherd covers behind you. You lack nothing because you have him. If this message encouraged you, please subscribe to Daily Bread Reflections for scriptures, prayers, and faith-filled reflections. Share this video with someone who needs to be reminded that they have a shepherd. And remember, the Lord is your shepherd.